Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm a minister and author and addiction recovery coach, life coach, and host of this show, To Take Your Life Back Today radio show. You can see a video version of this if you go to YouTube under channel Take Your Life Back Today show, or you can just Google my name, Ralf Friedrichs. Where have all the church volunteers gone in today's society? It is one of the most vocalized challenges church leaders express. As the church regathers, the number of volunteers returning does not seem to be proportionate to those who have returned after our church, our last meeting that we had a long time ago, like a rally. From hundreds of church leaders, we saw a few common threads. Volunteer ministry is a discipline that has been neglected during the pandemic. That makes sense, right? Ministry is a discipline like Bible reading, prayer, and fasting. Church members have gotten out of the habit. We've all gotten out of a lot of habits. Some of our most committed volunteers have yet to return. Though this observation crosses all types of churches. We see it most clearly in those churches that have older members. Many of them will not return until they've had their vaccinations and until COVID is largely under control. Friends, ministries that require close human contact are especially vulnerable. We have seen the reality most commonly in welcome ministries in most churches. Some members simply are not ready to volunteer where regular and close human contact is part of their ministry. We do anticipate these volunteers will return sometime in 2021. Church leaders are re-emphasizing the importance of all church members being involved in ministry. This emphasis has returned with urgency and clarity in new member classes. Many pastors are emphasizing the point more frequently in their sermons. One pastor told us he had become complacent about ministry volunteers because of the pandemic. He is recommitting himself towards emphasizing this ministry. Church members, like the most of the population, are weary from the pandemic. Some have been sick or had family members who have been sick or even passed on. The quarantine also took its toll on church members. They are easing back into roles they once had, and volunteer ministry is one of those roles many have not yet re-engaged. There seems to be a direct relationship between churches' recovery of their health and level of ministry volunteerism. Of course, these relationships is likely a cause and effect. More volunteers help the church get healthier. A healthier church engenders an environment more conducive to ministry volunteerism. Now is the time to assess your church's ministry complexity. Are all of your ministries and programs really necessary? Before pandemic, were you stretching your ministry volunteers too much with unnecessary activities? Now is the time to look at your church as a blank slate. What do you need to start doing? What do you need to stop doing? Those are questions that need to be answered. We are optimistic that most of your church volunteers will return this year. Of all the factors we are observing in the churches, we see new member class, or whatever you call your entry point into the church, to be a pivotal asset. As more people regather in your church, make certain that the ministry volunteerism is a clear expectation of new member class. Eventually, the emphasis will bear fruit. Above all, do not take ministry volunteerism for granted. It is a vital facet of healthy churches or churches that desire to recapture their health. The leaders must truly give priority to being Ephesians 4:12 leaders and equipping God's people to do the work of the ministry. How is your church faring with ministry volunteerism? I would love to hear from you. Call me at 844-405-HELP, because together, you and I, we can help each other take our lives back. Be good to yourselves and always be good to each other. And remember, a simple smile to anyone can change that person's day, possibly their life, and can even make a difference in your life. Start working to get your volunteers going again in church. Lessen your programs so that they have more time to spend with their loved ones. And remember, God truly loves you, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take good care, and always, always